Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana Live. You found us in whatever podcast app you are using right now, Spotify, Apple. Hit that follow, hit that subscribe, and hit that 5-star review if you think we deserve it. But we are also
live on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, tadpoles. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Yes, hello to all the family and friends, wherever you may be. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we have a giant question for you. Y'all in? Because we are all in. We are y'all in, and today we're going to bring a whole AEW All In Texas preview. Plus, we're going to chat about everything going on in the world of pro wrestling this week. So appreciate you checking us out here today. If you're in the YouTube chat, drop a frog as per usual. Maybe you're in the YouTube replay. Leave a nice positive comment. That's what we do here now on the show. Maybe you watch this on delay. Maybe you listen on the podcast version. You can always go back and revisit the YouTube show and leave something nice, whether you disagree or agree, as long as it's civil. We appreciate friendliness, and it goes a long way. And we appreciate all our friends and family in the Poisonrana post wrestling community, and hope you're having a fun summer wherever you may be.
We do, yeah. We haven't chatted for a little bit because we were celebrating Canada Day and just had a lot going on in the last week. So first of all, thank you very much to B Detroit and John Siino for holding down the fort, running this ship on Tuesday with Up Next. I'm still to catch up on NXT. I'm hoping to find time. I've got a long movie I got to watch this week. But yes, I thank you very much, guys. I'm looking forward to hearing that review once I do catch up on a little bit of NXT.
I am the same way. I took, you had some stuff going on this weekend, and so did I. Canada Day, happy 4th of July. That is past. Canada Day, all that kind of stuff. And we decided to take a little vacation. I know we are taking a vacation literally this week as we travel down to the Big D for some wrestling. But you had your girlfriend visiting. I got to spend some time with my family, and we decided to take a little time off and enjoy the Canada Day festivities. So yes, shout out Wattup Doe from Siino Evil and B Detroit as always. But we will be back this Tuesday night on Post Wrestling to give a go home show to a show I guess is happening next Saturday, as we might talk a little bit about. But I feel dirty. I feel wrong. I haven't watched NXT this week, and I'm a little bit of a completist, I guess, because I can't go into next week just by listening to B and Siino. I got to watch it, then listen to them, and then do a show. So
I think even when NXT was maybe at its lowest point, we've watched every fucking episode of this show. So,
and if that's not enough, we also go back and rewatch all of the on our Patreon. So we're obsessed. We're
so
crazy.
We will be caught up by Tuesday night, one way or the other.
NXT friends, not just a gimmick. We live the gimmick, I guess. But we will be back this Tuesday, and we'll talk all about NXT and Great American Bash, which I think again is a show that's happening next week. But I get there's some housekeeping right there. We will not be doing a Great American Bash show. So this Tuesday we'll be talking about the go home show for Great American Bash. But the following Tuesday night, you can catch us live after NXT, and I think we'll run down Great American Bash in a quick little show before we jump into the NXT of that night. So there's some little housekeeping. So join us the next 2 Tuesdays over on Post Wrestling, because we'll be chatting all about some NXT.
Look, wrestling promoters, there are 52 weeks in the year. We
52.
don't need to be running 5 events on the same 2 days of the week. Just give us a break. Come on, please. I want to watch all these shows. I actually like wrestling. Yeah. I enjoy watching both AEW and WWE. It goes through waves, but come on, just put it on the next week. Put it on the week after that. Spread these out. And I think we'll get into it with Evolution preview later in the show. But I think this time WWE have just shot themselves in the foot, running this weekend.
It's looking that way. What was trending on social media, at least on Twitter, was hashtag what is WrestleTix hiding?
Oh, you've frozen. Great picture though. What is WrestleTix hiding? Braden, I've lost Braden. What is WrestleTix hiding? Answer in the chat. So Evolution for sure. I've been seeing reports this week that some of the women roster are pretty disappointed with the way Evolution's been handled this year. You know, it is going up against It's All In weekend. It's going up against that show. It's, I believe, Beyonce's playing the same day in the same area. So ticket sales have been bad because, you know, all the hotels have been booked up by Beyonce fans and stuff like that. So it's a shame. And we did just do a little plug. We did record our review of the original Evolution from 2018 earlier this week. And we were kind of saying this feels a bit of an afterthought Evolution, which really shouldn't be at this point.
Yeah, sorry, I was having some Wi-Fi issues there. I was disconnecting. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I feel for both, like the counter programming now. It feels like, oh, why did you do that kind of thing? Because there is some interest in the other product. There's a lot of interest in the other product this week, and you're kind of making fans choose. A lot of fans are like you and me, who are like, hey, I just enjoy everything, and I can critique everything the same way if we choose to. But there's some people that are just like, you know, pitchforks ready. And I think there was a lot of like people thinking that WWE booking this weekend with all these different shows was totally like trying to counter program and try to block all the, not even just like, hey, we're doing a same show, but like social media, the way that All In would get talked about on social media. They want to show at the exact same time so that they're not just like left out in the wings, I guess, kind of thing. So it is interesting that, like, as of right now, this is a week out from Saturday night's main event and NXT and Evolution. And, you know, people on the other side always like to look at, oh, AEW's only got like 3,000 people or 2,000 people. Whereas finally now the kind of the shoes on the other foot, because now everyone's looking at the WWE tickets for next week and it's not looking too great for WWE. And you mentioned the Beyonce thing with having that across the street from that venue. Like that's just wrong, really. So it's almost like WWE set the women up to fail this Sunday. But you know what? I bet these women on Evolution are going to knock it out the park. They're going to have that chip on their shoulder that it doesn't matter if there's 5,000, 3,000, whatever 1,000 people in that arena. They're going to kick ass. And I really think that'll be the WWE show of the weekend, 100%. So, and I do think no matter what, I don't care. As long as the crowd is hot, it doesn't matter to me if there's 2,000 people, 3,000, 10,000. If the crowd is into it and want to be there and the show is good, that's what makes it good. You know, when I buy an album, I guess I don't do that anymore. When I stream a new album that I love so much, do I care that it has like 5 million streams or 1 million streams? Not fucking really, because I just care that I like it and I enjoy it and it's entertainment to me. So I hope the weekend all the shows kick ass and everything. I really do, because I'm just a wrestling fan, and we're gonna be like amidst travel and coming back home on the Sunday, and I know we're gonna be probably on a plane or a bus trying to be like, should we try to watch this and this and that, because this is how we are. But wouldn't it have been so much better if it was a weekend after where we're like, wow, this weekend we can get ready to not spend time with my friends a second time to watch my wrestling.
I just don't get the mentality. Like, if it is, you know, if the attitude is, look, we want to hurt the competition, we want to draw eyes away, wouldn't you put everything you have into building up these shows? You know, I'd say probably the biggest match of the weekend is Goldberg Gunther, but
sure.
I mean, it's arguable, but like that's, I'd say, one of the big marquee matches of the weekend. And that's really had very little build over the last few weeks. We've had a couple of sit-down interviews, and that's about it. It doesn't feel like a real hot match. Evolution, as Chris Jones says in the chat, goes, I won't be watching Evolution 2 and SNME apart from the Goldberg match. It's too much wrestling, and I've given the women's show the attention this setup deserves. And I think that's the thing. Like this, they could have made this feel like an absolute super card and been building it up for weeks, and actually give that dilemma to fans of, oh, which one am I seeing? But if you are an AEW fan, there's no way you're watching any of these other shows over over All In. It's like if AEW were to program a Ring of Honor show when WrestleMania is happening. Like, as much as you like AEW, you're going to watch WrestleMania. It's the biggest show, and All In's the biggest show of the weekend. I think if you are just a Fed fan who doesn't like AEW, of course you're going to watch WWE programming. But I don't think it's working as taking eyes away from AEW. It just pisses us off. And
that's what I mean.
Certainly with this build, this lackluster build to all three shows, like, it's why even bother? Why even bother trying to counter program if this is what you're doing? This isn't like, you know, an NXT show where it's like, yeah, we're counter programming, and next week we've got The Undertaker, we've got John Cena, we've got Cody Rhodes, we've got all of these guys, and it's like, okay, they're throwing everything they've got at this.
Right.
And I feel bad for the women, because I hope this doesn't, they go, oh, well, the women couldn't draw because look at this attendance and that, because it's really not their fault. And the women have been the best thing about WWE for quite a while. And
easily
they deserve,
this year,
they deserve so much more than this.
The women have been absolutely killing it. Like, NXT gets all the best women's roster praise, but like WWE, all the stars that are on top, your EOs, your Rheas, they came through NXT like originally, but the women have been killing it. And this is just like, really, you booked it off a backpacking weekend that was alternate programming that is also now, we learn, is across the street from a stadium Beyonce show at the same time. It's just, you know, not saying that like the same people might not be going to Beyonce and WWE, but it's an all women show, and like the women want to support the women, but you know, Beyonce is,
but just like logistics, you know, we've seen just going to these arena shows and stadium shows how bad transport can be, how high Uber charges are, and that kind of thing. Hotels, anyone who's not living in Atlanta and are coming to see the show, like all these hotels have been booked up for Beyonce, who's running a stadium, right? So it's all those things. It's not necessarily saying, you know, wrestling fans and Beyonce fans are the same, but it does affect things just logistically, and we are seeing that.
Beyonce is definitely going to play the song "This Ain't Texas," because it won't be in Atlanta this weekend, in my opinion. I'm really hoping Evolution knocks it out the park, because like you said, we just reviewed the original 2018 show. Shout out our Patreon, check us out. And we were praising like, hey, this took too long. Even 2008 took too long to get an all women's show, and it took too long in between to get to this one. And then now that we get there, it's like, man, shouldn't this be treated like a whole lot bigger? And it kind of isn't. You know, we'll talk about the card maybe in a little bit when we go through some WWE, because the card has some good stuff that definitely.
Card does look good.
Yeah,
just like the build has not been. It's this card feels like what people accuse Tony Khan of doing, and that's just throwing two names, putting him on a graphic, and being like, "This will be a good match." That's kind of how this card feels.
I just like WWE. The interest for me is as big and popular as the machine seems to be right now, because you can't avoid. I see people wearing T-shirts everywhere again. Everything, like, it just feels super hot and super popular. But I don't know. I haven't been feeling it hasn't been hitting. I was watching Raw and SmackDown and just trying to like, okay, let's see what they're promoting for this like Saturday night's main event and Evolution. And it didn't really feel like they were promoting a whole lot. So it kind of almost felt like, wait, is there a show this week?
It's interesting. And we will get into those reviews later. I feel they're doing some nice things with like longer term storytelling. Like, okay, they're setting things up, which is probably going to be SmackDown and beyond. But for the immediate, like, 3 shows happening this weekend, absolutely not. And I do think I do think we're seeing the dip in WWE now. It's not as popular as it was a year ago. Whatever you say about the success of this WrestleMania this year, it's not as hot as it was a year ago. And I think there's some things that are turning off fans, turning off people like myself. Like, I'm often a bit of a WWE defender on here, but there's been a series of things that have just made me feel kind of icky this year, this time round, and it's making me lose interest. They're telling you on TV pretty much all the time, like, we're a money machine, we're money, we've made this much money, and everything just feels so much more produced than ever, and it's feeling a lot more a bit like Vince days, it's getting there. And I'm certainly not interested in the product anymore. And, just a few months ago, I was saying that about AEW. And I think AEW have really, really picked up with this all-in build. I think they've gone about things completely correctly with this build to this show, making it feel like the biggest show of the year.
Absolutely. They complete, like we went to the first Wembley All In, which now has been promoted for 2026. It is coming back to Wembley next year. Shout out Coldplay and Oasis booking too many Wembley shows. Tony Khan was like, I can't do it. I got to go to Texas. And we were kind of like going to the show all hyped, but we're like, yo, this build is kind of, even the card was like, it was fun. It was amazing show. Don't get me wrong. But this time around, it's like, whoa, they're finally treating this like this is their Super Bowl. This is their WrestleMania. So I think they've done a really good job. And we kind of booked this on a whim, just being like, fuck it. We were missing each other's birthdays this year. We're like, this was before All Out was announced for Toronto. We're like, should we just sneak in a little weekend? And I'm really happy that we are, because now not only I'm like, I want to watch this show so badly, but now we're going and I'm like, this is great. I want to watch this so bad. And they've done a fantastic job in some of the stories leading up to it. And, all these months of how bad the Death Riders was, is finally, hopefully, knock on wood, it's going to come to an end. We're going to go through a preview and everything, I swear. But again, if you are going down to the Big D next week for All In, we will be in the city. So please, DMs are always open at Poisonrana Pod. Let us know. AEW has announced they're doing like a tailgate party and a post party, which means only good things could happen in that fucking main event. I hope you wouldn't do a big party if Moxley just retains, right? So it will be at that live venue, which is like across the street, which looks like the only bar in that whole little area. So we will be there some way, shape, or form on the Saturday before the show. So again, let us know if you're making your way out, because I have gotten a few DMs today saying like, I'm going to be headed. I want to try to say hi and everything. So get your cowboy hats, get your assless chaps, and meet us on down in Dallas, because the BDE does Dallas this weekend, and we're very excited. And any postmarks, any Poisonrana friends out there, please reach out. We'd love to see you if we can.
Little bit of housekeeping. As we did mention, we did just release our review of the original Evolution pay-per-view on our Patreon, patreon.com/Poisonrana. Please subscribe. It's only $5 a month. We have so many shows for you to enjoy there. And as we are going to Dallas, we put it up to you, the people, what you'd like us to review this week, being Texas related. And we had a few things there. We had the Bonnie and Clyde movie. We had a JFK documentary. We had the Oliver Stone JFK movie, Dallas Buyers Club, and I think there was someone else on there.
Debbie Does Dallas? Did we put that in there?
Maybe not.
Voted for that. Yeah.
And you have voted for the Oliver Stone movie, JFK, a film neither Braden and I have ever seen. We threw this up before realizing it's a 3.5-hour movie.
I think it's only 3.
Oh, is that only 3?
Yeah, I think it's only
Maybe
3.
It was the director's cut I saw listed or something. But yes, so we're going to be reviewing that this week, kind of going into some of the conspiracies around the assassination of the former president.
I want all of it. I want all the conspiracies. I'm not saying right now in the YouTube chat, but I will be putting up a feedback thread maybe tonight, Sunday night, Monday morning, or whatever. And I want anyone, go ask your dad, go ask your crazy uncle. I want all the conspiracy. Send me the YouTube videos. I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. I'm wearing my cowboy hat right now, but I'm putting my tinfoil hat on, and I want to hear all the grassy knoll, all that shit. Our hotel is literally booked for like a 5-minute walk from this whole JFK thing in Dallas. So I've never been, and I want to go, but I've been watching documentaries, and I'm ready to watch this movie. And it's going to be a whole JFK conspiracy podcast. And
Hansi, if you're listening, hit us with your best. We want to know. We want to know.
Yeah, I want them all. Honestly, please. If you're like, I wonder if they know, send it to me. I want to know everything. I'm going to write them down. We're going to go through all of them in this show. So that's a show coming out on our podcast, on our Patreon. Follow our Patreon. This is going to be a great week, because not only do you get that show, not only do you get the WWE Evolution show that we just did, but we're going to be doing some live on the spot recordings that we'll be uploading, a little bit of a road diaries. If you have checked out our Patreon before, you may know that we like to do these snap-ranas, and we're going to be doing them. We might record one on the grassy knoll. So You don't
I
know.
mean, there is an X in the middle of the street,
the
and
road.
then there's an X at the window where Lee Harvey Oswald apparently shot
allegedly,
JFK. And we'll record something standing right there, going, does that logistically make sense there?
Right.
Could this have happened? So yes, follow up Road Diaries throughout our trip away. Wrestling and non-wrestling related.
Yeah, because I think what we're going to try to do is record a post-show, not live on YouTube, but some way, shape, or form next Saturday in an Uber. We're going to try to record our quick thoughts, and that'll be available for free on this very free feed. So look for that next Saturday. Follow the socials, of course, but on the Patreon, we're going to do these like little road diary podcasts throughout. We did it for our trip to Europe for All in London when we got denied into the secret club of the M&Ms. Remember that guy? He made it onto
Speaking
our podcast.
Of conspiracies, yes. Does the secret bar at the M&M store in Leicester
We've
Square
said too much.
exist?
You gotta be a patron. You gotta be a friend at patreon.com/Poisonrana to understand what this all means and check out what we got going on. So $5 to become a friend. You get all the podcasts out there, and you'll get all the video, the audio diaries this weekend as well. So we're going to have a lot of fun on our trip, but we did release a huge show next week in Dallas or Arlington, I guess, is Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. And we recently did a show called Best Match Ever, where we look at, rate the Okada Omega series. We go through each match, the story, the history, the importance of it all. And you know what? We're so damn nice that I might just release this for free tomorrow. But you know what? It comes with a catch because I've changed my mind. I'm releasing it for free. But when we record the extra All In Dallas match to tag it on, that will not be for free. So the free version coming out this week. If you haven't checked it out already, check out Omega Okada, Best Match Ever, and let us know. Go back and revisit these matches like we did. It was a ton of fun and got us super hyped. This is a great companion piece to get you hyped for the match next week. So lots and lots of shows. Again, follow the socials. We're on everything to keep updated. We put out some free stuff. We got some stuff on the Patreon. $5 to become a friend. It keeps us going. It keeps the lights on and buys us a nice cold beer down in hot Texas. So appreciate it.
Now, we have a bit of an end of an era happening this week as Eagles Don't Hunt Flies will be recording their final review this Friday. And they're going to be looking at the big matches from Jon Moxley in AEW. So this includes the Eddie Kingston-Jon Moxley feud, Mox versus the Bucks, Mox versus Hangman, and Mox versus Orange Cassidy. So Jesse from the Six will be joining the boys this week. And just a big thank you to Bushby, Brandon, Dicky, all the lads who have joined in. I know we've had Benno on that show. We've had Gareth has joined the lads for that show, and everyone who's been involved in Eagles Don't Hunt Flies. It's been a fantastic series. It's available for free on this very podcast stream. You can go back. They've been going, about 18 months, maybe 2 years almost with this show. So thank you. And can't wait to listen to this.
Absolutely. Appreciate everyone involved in the Poisonrana and everyone listening, of course. Again, we really do pride ourselves on the community, and we love you people wherever you are. And we love chatting about the graps and the wrestling and everything. So shout out Bushby and the boys, the Ambrose for Eagles Don't Hunt Flies. I should have worn my shirt today. They had great merch at chop-tees.com/Poisonrana. Check it out if you haven't already. So there's all the plugs and everything. Again, Instagram, give us a follow. We're going to be documenting our next week and everything. And then we're after that, we're going to be looking ahead to All Out, which is coming in September to Toronto, and follow this space in the next few weeks. We will be announcing some things. If you're thinking, should I go up to Toronto to see All Out? Yeah, you should come to this great country called Canada, Toronto. In fact, some don't consider it Canada, but I do because it's the true capital of Canada. So come to the city in September 20th, All Out. We got some plans. We're going to have some fun. So giddy up indeed. But I think we should start right now by talking about some wrestling. I think usually we jump into WWE, but I think maybe we should flip things around and go through our big preview for Texas this week.
Yeah. Shall we start with the kind of the big matches and work our way down with this, do you think?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go through like the card and then kind of dissect I just finished watching Collision 100 from last night and Dynamite 300 and everything. So
yeah, we'll go through the card and then kind of talk about the segments from this week's Dynamite and Collision that's relevant to each match. But yes, starting with the big one, the main event, Jon Moxley defending his briefcase, his AEW World Championship against Hangman Adam Page in what was now announced on Wednesday's Dynamite. It will be a Texas death match.
Texas death. Yeah, I mean, we were calling for this. We really loved the last time these two guys did the Texas death. I mean, anytime Hangman, it seems to be a little bit of his gimmick match.
His
but
calling card, yeah.
This needed this. Like the whole storyline of the Death Riders, it got off to a bad start. And then over time, I think maybe people softened up because it's like, well, wait, give it a chance. It's like WWE when Randy Orton was champion for half a year because you wanted to have that big moment of, someone winning the title. That's kind of what the blueprint kind of is here, where for months, this guy's been holding the title hostage, literally. And now finally the main character, Adam Page, is going to take the title back for himself, for Retribution, and for the people. And I think adding Texas Death is perfect. Like, how could these guys go out there and just have a normal wrestling match? I don't think anyone was expecting that. So I'm loving.
So when you know there's going to be all the bullshit, all the interferences and stuff, it just makes it make it legal.
Yeah,
it's a kind of like bloodline rules, right? It's just a way of saying anything goes. You're gonna have shenanigans. Stuff's gonna happen. And
we're getting the Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns bloodline rules, where you're gonna have Wheeler Yuta and that fucking dog haircut beard combo. God. You're gonna have Claudio. You're gonna have the Death Riders, Marina. You're gonna have Willow coming out. You're gonna have everyone fighting each other, and then Darby Allin gonna come out. The lights might go out. Maybe Sting shows up. Maybe Bryan Danielson shows up. Like who knows, right? Like Eddie Kingston, he could show up. Like there's Gabe Kidd, Eddie Kingston, that could tie it. Like there's so many different things that you could, bells and whistles that could pop off. And I think the big one will be Swerve having to choose, do I help Hangman win the title? Ultimately deciding yes, and then Hangman winning and making that some big special feel-good moment. And I expect a lot of blood in this match, and I expect blood, sweat, and tears by the end of it. But I'm really looking forward to this one. The Texas Death is like exactly what we needed. In fact, it was the only thing that was kind of bugging me with this whole story of like how and then they do it and they announce it the way they did. And Hangman, did you recognize the shirt? He's been re-wearing some shirts lately.
Okay.
I don't know if you of all people, Davie, I think you would appreciate this because you're a man of the shirts, as am I sometimes. He has been reusing shirts that he has worn in specific segments and promos in the past. Now, Moxley in their promo segment brought up best wrestler in the world is some bullshit or something like that, right? Clearly kind of throwing some shade at CM Punk. When Hangman is wearing the shirt that he wore in a promo segment with CM Punk.
Oh, okay.
A few weeks earlier, Hangman was wearing a shirt that he wore when he, I think, first won the title. So he's been wearing certain cowboy aesthetic shirts that have been matching maybe the vibes. So as some people's hero, CM Punk came out dressed as John Cena. Hangman's wearing a shirt that was
so that was this week. He wore that on the same episode where Jon Moxley says calling himself best in the world is basic bitch shit. Yeah.
So really, these two are just like, yo, fuck that guy. I'm loving this Texas Death, and now the cherry on top is there's going to be a rhyme and reason to let the Death Riders come in, Sting, Darby, all these run-ins and things that we really do expect, but in the best way possible. So the Texas Death is like the chef's kiss, the cherry on top.
There's only one tiny nitpick I had, and we'll kind of break down the segment a little bit because I thought the whole segment was awesome with Hangman kind of goading him into it, stealing the briefcase, taking out Marina, which obviously there's been some controversy about that.
Oh, fuck off!
I thought it worked for this. Marina's been so physical with the men throughout this entire run, and it deserved it. Like it deserved this moment, I think. And it just made Hangman seem even more of a badass. And I think especially when you know Hangman's character, who's pretty liberal and, you know, women's rights and all that. It's like, for that sort of character to do this, I think it kind of worked even more.
It was warranted. Yeah.
Absolutely. My tiniest nitpick is when Moxley's going like, there's no way you can beat me in this match. And just, why didn't they bring up that they've had this match before? Hangman just goes, well, I beat you in it last time or whatever. And I just found it odd that that both these characters and commentary just didn't really bring up that they have had a and therefore I'm like, are you just trying to like Men in Black like mind erase this?
Triple H Undertaker WrestleMania. Yeah, we're gonna fight at WrestleMania, but we never did before. Yeah. Even though we did. It's similar thing. Yeah, I got that too. It was like right there, like you were waiting for Hangman to say it. And then he just didn't. So it's like, okay.
I'm gonna pick a match that is my speciality that you didn't beat me at. If you want to prove that you're the champ, you've got to beat me in Texas Death. Like, I don't know, just the tiniest nitpick. I love the segment. I love that they're going this way. But man, that first Texas Death match, I think people remember the Swerve match more because it happened like later in the year. But when we did our end of year review, I think I ended up going. I think I preferred the Moxley Hangman one.
We're gonna have a lot of blood. Texas is it's gonna be a Texas Death massacre down in Arlington because they used the fork in the last one, the barbed wire beds. We're getting all the Terry Funk shout outs in this match as well. So I'm extremely looking forward to. Should we bring the branding iron down to Texas? Would they let us in with that to give it to Hanger to use Terry Funk's actual branding iron? Please use this in the match. I'm like, honestly, like this match alone is like, now I'm so sold on it. We've always been very high on Hangman since before AEW even existed. We were like, man, there's something, we like this guy. There's something about him. And to see him really go into his own, and obviously people will go, oh, the CM Punk stuff and this and that. And I'm sure that weighs really heavy on him. I'm sure deep down, like that's gotta, people always, he deleted his Twitter for a reason because he was like probably getting barred and stuff. But to kind of see it turn around, and the same stuff with the Death Riders, like it's kind of everyone shit on it in the last little while. But as someone in the chat, Chris in the chat saying, whisper it, the Death Riders has quietly gotten good. And it's like, yes and no, because it's been bad. It's like John Cena saying he's going to ruin wrestling because he has been. And that's kind of what the Death Riders were killing AEW. And then we slowly started to see the bigger picture where it's like, okay, well, we needed to go through hell to get to heaven, I guess.
It's I don't know. I've seen a lot of people saying that Death Riders have gotten good. I don't know if much has changed with their presentation or what their MO is or whatever. But I just think because they've built up the babyface in Hangman in such a great way. Yeah. And because I think finally we believe that it's coming to an end, I am more invested than I was before. I mean, Moxley's never been a bad promo and stuff. And there's stuff he's been saying that's been good. I just think it's difficult, isn't it? You need to go through, for it to feel more cathartic when the win happens, you need it to go a long time. You need a bit of a reign of terror, but you sacrifice moments during that time as well. I mean, I don't think Edge was a great opponent, and I think that was a low point. I think we were there for the Orange Cassidy match. I really enjoyed the match, but no one was buying Orange Cassidy beating him at that point. I think then the idea, I think, was for Davie to probably win it after Everest, and obviously he still hasn't come back yet. So I think we knew, oh man, we're going to get a few more months for that. Whereas now, because I think we're in like the final stretch, we're at the finish line, we're able to enjoy it. But it's not certain that Hangman's winning this. Chris is saying he thinks the Moxley retains and the Texas Death Stip will help keep Hangman strong and give him an out. I think you do have to end it here.
I think he has to win it, yeah.
I think it makes a whole lot of sense. Hangman is your AEW guy. I know they were trying to position, Darby as that person, but he went away. And I think Hangman makes the most sense. We can then move forward to a fresh direction. I wouldn't be surprised if Mox disappears for quite a while.
Go on that vacation, dude. Yeah. Go fishing.
and then I think we've got like a clear direction for the next big feud is probably MJF Hangman Page, which has been teased in this whole build-up, in the build-up to the Owen even, that match has been teased.
Yeah. I mean, MJF could win the chip and cash in. Right? Like
the gauntlet's not a chip, I don't think. I think
no, it's the contract.
That is the Revolution ladder match. Usually.
Well, wait a second. What did Christian win? He won the gauntlet last year, right? And he had the contract.
You were completely right. Yeah, you were completely right.
So MJF can basically cash in whenever he wants. So he could cash in at the end of All In. I don't see that happening, but yeah. He could tease it at least, right? He could tease it. But I do think we would go in that direction. I think that would be the right way to get MJF the heel to, like, you know, cash in and everything. Yeah, Megan in the chat, shout out Megan, says Christian shot his shot and lost. Yeah, so you could do that, and that's a heel way to have Hangman's reign come to an end eventually when you go to that. So we're both going with Hanger winning this thing. I think that makes the most sense, right? Like, that's a pretty big deal. And I think Swerve being someone to help him is going to be a big part of the story. Like, a big crowd reaction ultimately would be like, whoa, Swerve is helping him kind of thing. So really looking forward to this. This is a solid main event. You know, I think a few months ago people were like, oh, where they go with Ospreay and stuff, but like, big show, Texas, Hangman, Cowboy, Texas Death. I'm sold. Let's do it.
Now I think because it is somewhat related in a way to the main event, we should possibly talk about the tag match next, because we had a stipulation added to that where obviously the EVP titles are on the line from the Bucks, but
are these new championships AEW put out? I'm not
EVP titles, yes. But if Swerve and Ospreay lose, they can't challenge for a whole year. Now, what I like about that stipulation is a year from now
is Wembley.
Would be Wembley. So I think both are very strong possibilities. But if it was just, if we beat you, you're stripped of the EVP titles, you'd go, well, Swerve and Ospreay are winning this. Whereas now, like, dangling that, you could have, I think it allows for more storyline, right? You could have Swerve potentially turn on Ospreay for putting that up. You can have a big build to All In next year with Ospreay finally getting that challenge again.
Yeah.
Maybe even a triple threat, you know, with Hangman and Swerve involved next year.
Like, you're right. Like, so I think this is what's going to happen. First of all, this sounds great. Like, low key, this on any show would have my interest. But like, yeah, I'm bummed that we're not getting a singles match from Swerve or a singles match with Ospreay. But what better two wrestlers right now to face the Young Bucks, who have completely, like, shown people like, hey, you keep shitting on us, but we're still the fucking Young Bucks. And this year alone, and last year too, like, they're still good. And I'm really thinking this could be like an all-time tag team match right here. Like, the shit all four of these guys can do inside that ring and outside the ring, I guess, with the flips outside the ring. But like, they're fucking nuts. And yeah, low key, this could potentially steal the show. But I find it interesting because I was just saying about the main event. We're gonna have the run-ins, the bloodline rules, if you will. How even more of a reaction would it be if Ospreay gets pinned by Matt Jackson, and the aftermath of this match is Swerve is so pissed at Ospreay that he shoves him and he walks out. Later in the night, Swerve comes out, and you think, is he gonna cost Hangman? But then he ends up being like, all right, I'm sorry. I'm still, like, even that will add, like, to the lore. And then Swerve has a year where he can't challenge. Maybe he gets upset and turns heel. Ospreay finally wins the Owen and says, well, my stipulation ends at Wembley. So if I win the Owen, I'm going to get that title shot. Wins it, has the match at Wembley. I don't know who would be the champion there. I would assume MJF at this point. And you go with that for next year. But would it be dumb to do this? But it is a way to keep these guys away from the title.
I'm seeing Megan in the chat who's saying it would be real stupid if Will gets forbidden from chasing the title for a year. And I completely disagree. I think he's over enough. He's
so over.
A solid enough wrestler. Obviously, he's one of the greatest to have interesting stories in that year. I think you can spin off to a proper Swerve and Ospreay feud in that time. we do have other titles he could maybe go for, but Ospreay's first title win should be at Wembley Stadium. There's no it would be absolutely ridiculous to put the title on him before then, and in which case, why have him challenge and lose before then? There's so much talent on this roster who he can have feuds with, building up to this, you know, and I just think, it's in a way it makes sense as to why not to put the title on him before then if you have this stipulation.
No, we're cheering for the Bucks here because we want that stipulation to come into play for Ospreay and Swerve, and then I don't know, you could spiral Swerve into being a heel and trying to chase Hangman, but now he can't because the title keeps him away from him, right? That's another thing. You don't want Swerve just going after Hangman again. This keeps both of these guys busy with all this other stuff. So again, I'm really looking forward to this match. I think they'll have some spectacular stuff. And almost like, I know we're doing Texas Death for the main event, but if this was Texas Death, these guys would kill each other. And even though it's not, I wonder if the Bucks add some sort of like stipulation, or they allow, you know, weapons and stuff because they're EVPs and their powers and all that kind of stuff. So they're gonna cheat to win this one. So maybe Jack Perry returns to help them out.
I think that's a strong possibility, and that's another side mission for either of these guys to go on after this match. You know, I think there's plenty you can keep these two busy with. You know, Jones saying in the chat, Ospreay and Swerve contending for the new unified title with Okada or Omega will immediately give that new title the much needed prestige.
For sure.
My one thing would be, where do you go with the Bucks and this? I can't say I particularly enjoy this EVP gimmick, and I don't like, if we're dragging out more of this. Okay, I suspect the end of the Death Riders after this pay-per-view, but but the EVPs, are they just doing the same old shtick coming out of this?
Like, they should go for tagged. I don't know. Like, the Bucks are just always like the big pay-per-view. You could put them in a match and it's, you know, it'll be solid, and they're not necessarily like the storyline of the videos was weird with them they're trying to be baby faces, like they're the crazy baby faces who are doing the like, look, we're back in our hometown, but they're psycho because they're actually like assholes. So I thought that was kind of funny. I hope they come out wearing the founding fathers costumes again, because I do kind of like the more people tell me they hate the Young Bucks over the years, the more I've liked the Young Bucks, and I don't think I'm going to stop anytime soon. So I'll continue to ride the Young Bucks train, and I don't think there's anything these guys could do that makes me go, oh, that they're like, last year we were like, oh, is it time? Are they finally like washed? And then they had Sting's retirement match. I was like, no, don't ever fucking say that. Not yet. So I'm really looking forward to this tag match. Looking forward to seeing what Swerve, Ospreay, and the Bucks can come up with, because anytime Ospreay and a partner has faced the Bucks, it's been crazy. Same with Swerve, and like any of these combos will be awesome. So yeah, those two matches already, this card is pretty stacked.
We also have the AEW Women's Championship on the line. Mercedes Moné taking on Timeless Toni Storm. This one has been, I wouldn't say the greatest build. I found Dynamite a bit weird this week with Tony just looking kind of, they're like commentary really playing it up. Oh, is she scared? Is she nervous? Is she just dialed in and focused on Moné? I don't think this story's been particularly great, but I think I'm excited for the match, and it makes a whole lot of sense. These are two biggest women in the division. Moné doing her belt collector gimmick, and Tony being the champion in the industry. So yeah, which way do you see this going?
I don't know. I guess I would just have Mercedes win, because like to complete the belt collecting thing, you need the biggest one, which is the AEW Women's World Title, which is what Tony has. So either way, I didn't love the stuff with Tony, but I guess they don't want to, like, there's already so many other builds with people getting beaten down and bloodied and stuff. Maybe they were trying to keep it separate from different weeks. I do imagine we're going to get another big beatdown before from one of them before the next weekend. But like, I haven't necessarily loved this week's, but I'm still like, wow, this is one of the biggest women's matches in going, because Mercedes has been on one of a hell of a run. Tony, one hell of a run. So it's finally like the two parallel stories finally going to hit each other. So I'm looking forward to the match. I think they have a lot to live up to, considering you've been teasing, saying, oh, it's the biggest match, greatest match women's wrestling history. I'm like, oh, okay. We've had some really good women's wrestling matches this year already. 2025 is the year of women's wrestling, no doubt. But I'm looking forward to seeing this.
I mean,
Tony's been on a great run. Mercedes was rocky at first, but I've really been a fan now. I don't know what's started to click for me, but she's really fun to dislike on TV. So I really like that.
I think the issue with Mercedes to start with was she wasn't wrestling, and that's her strongest suit, is her wrestling. It's never been her promos. I think once they turned her heel, she's always been better as a heel. That made her promos get better. And I think the big unfortunate thing was that Britt Baker match, which I wouldn't put on Mercedes, you know. And I don't know if you saw it, but
yes.
But Mercedes was asked this week about
we want to see you wrestle Britt Baker again, and her response was, "You do," and then kind of laughs. I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
She's she's been like, you know, diplomatic about it, but has been like, yeah, I wish that match went a different way. There were things I didn't really agree with.
She basically was saying, I wish Britt Baker could wrestle.
Kind of. So I don't think you're going to have that concern with this. I think despite the story, I think the crowd they're going to treat this like one of the big matches on the show.
Yeah.
Now I would go Tony retain, I think. And I think that could start Mercedes has all these other belts, but Tony has the belt, and Mercedes could start dropping them a bit. But I'm wondering, because I forgot that this gauntlet thing allowed a cash in.
Yeah.
Could you potentially have Athena walking out of Global Life Field as the champion?
True. Like what I was saying, you could easily have MJF tease that he's cashing in because it's a contract. I would 100% put Athena in that battle royal casino thing. No doubt about that. That's not a bad idea. I just don't know if you would off the back of if it's Mercedes beating Tony, then she would cash in on Mercedes, right?
I think either way works. And I think it would be a way of, they've started having Athena on Dynamite a bit more. But she is Texas. She's going to have a huge reaction in that crowd. I wouldn't do the kind of turn it into a triple threat. I would have the actual match. I would have a finish to the match and then the cash in. I'd prefer that to MJF. I think the show needs to end on a big,
a high,
huge, happy high with the roster holding Hangman Page holding the title, getting it out of that briefcase. But I think it would be a great way to, make Athena feel like a big deal on AEW TV after this show and spin off some fresh feuds, whether that be with Mercedes or with Tony.
I don't know if we're going to get the cash in, but at least a stare down. I know last year it's such an afterthought, but GYV debut in Wembley. You remember that? Maybe you don't.
Yeah.
Blink and you miss it, which is too bad. We love those guys, and we were expecting a whole lot from them. And it hasn't really necessarily clicked. Maybe not yet, but that you could easily have Athena like stare down one of these people and be like, hey, look, I won this. So therefore, because Athena, I would book her as like, she doesn't want to just cash in, but maybe like challenge, lay her claim kind of thing, because maybe make her more of a baby face or something. But I'm not sure. I know she's been playing the heel and this and that, but like a baby face is way more natural, I'd say, for her, especially if this Texas crowd and everything. But
I don't know. I don't know. I think the heel run has been the most interesting she's been.
For sure. She's just like, the wrestling still comes to mind. Like the Athena Mercedes match on Dynamite, like months ago now, I guess, was fantastic. And I think we just reviewed Evolution 2018 for our Patreon, and we were praising Ember Moon on that show, but we were also discussing that she gets one of the loudest reactions on that entire show, and you'd think she'd be one of the biggest women's stars in WWE. It's not the case, which is pretty crazy. But I don't know. My heart says Tony, but my mind is telling me Mercedes is winning this thing. So I just want both women to have a good time. Competition, sports womenship.
Yes. And then we have Omega versus Okada. Winner takes all for the brand new unified championship. Megan in the chat saying there's a good chance Omega Okada might go on last instead. I hope
I don't
not.
think so.
I think that would be the wrong decision.
Absolutely wrong decision. Yes.
There's one match that feels like the biggest match, and it's been building for a long time.
This is a big one, though. This could be a main event in any show, in any country, on any company. You know, like this is the big one for sure. And I think there's a lot of question, like all these years later, both guys are obviously older. They've been through injuries. They've been through this and that, but it's finally happening. And I think when the bell rings, like people will be losing their shit, us included, screaming at the top of our lungs for both these guys. So really excited about this one. We just went through all of their matches, their singles matches from New Japan, and they're considered, rightfully so, some of the best wrestling matches ever, the best rivalry possibly ever in wrestling. And here we are getting it one more time. So yeah, I'm very excited. Kenny Omega is my guy. Absolutely love this guy. As like, he's one of my favorites to watch. And I'm really hoping these two can deliver even a sliver, even a third, a quarter of what we got from all those years ago in Japan. But I do think these guys are going to bring out the big guns. Like, how do you not, right? Like, Okada versus Ibushi was pleasantly surprising on Wednesday on Dynamite 300, where on one side I was like, finally Okada's back to, you know, wrestling, and there was some great spots, but then also the other side was Ibushi, and Ibushi finally like looking good again. I was like, oh man, like, and if that wasn't good enough, Kenny Omega comes out. The Golden Lovers hug, reunite. I was like, oh my God. If we didn't book a trip already, Davie, I would have been calling you, being like, let's fucking go. Because I hope Kota Ibushi is in that casino gauntlet now. Just fuck it. Just cuz, right? But I'm super into this match. Like there's so much on their shoulders here with the past matches being so highly praised with wrestling fans. But I don't know if they can top any of their old stuff, but either way, I'm going to be happy seeing this.
I think that's why they've lent so much more on story with this one. They've lent on like the Don Callis family and that kind of stuff, because it's weird, isn't it? Because the bar is so high, and neither of these guys are washed by any means, but also neither of these guys are the same people they were 7 years ago.
Right.
And therefore, like, I don't expect we're going to have a match that tops any of the New Japan matches. But as I said, the bar there is what, 7 stars from Meltzer? Like,
sure,
we could get a 4.5, and that's a fucking awesome match. But we might get more. But I think the fact that they've gone very story heavy on this is to try and kind of make it feel different from those New Japan ones. Make it feel separate.
Yeah, it already kind of is. I mean, we just reviewed them, so they're really fresh in my mind. But like, Kenny was a heel in the first time with the Bullet Club Wrestle Kingdom 11 main event. But you could see like there was people in the crowd, Kenny, as you hear through the rematches and everything. By the final one in Dominion 2018, the crowd kind of switch and are now siding with Kenny Omega. And I think going into this one, having heel Okada, but it's still Okada, so your smart fans are like, fuck yeah, let's bring it out. Hopefully he wears the short boys, not the long boys. Hopefully Okada doesn't come out with any balloons.
Some red and purple as well. None of this black
red and purple,
trunks, black boots. Come on.
Yeah.
And Kenny, stay as far away from that fucking horrendous.
No Final Fantasy. Battle Cry.
No Final Fantasy. No Devil's Cry. We want Battle Cry, okay?
Battle Cry definitely is the one Kenny song for me. But yeah, totally looking forward to this match. I think they will deliver. I think by the end of it, we'll be like, wow, how did they do that one? And the stuff with Don Callis and all that, Ibushi, you might get some interference and stuff, but I don't know. I'm just thinking that these guys, they wouldn't book this match if they didn't think that they could do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to.
But I would also think that's why I wouldn't put it at the end of the show.
Yeah,
I think being in the middle as a huge marquee match would like lower expectations a bit as well. But I'm super excited. I think Okada is winning this one.
I think Okada too. I think Okada because there's some more you could do with the story there of him and this new title, and I don't know, having some big matches. We mentioned Swerve Okada. That could be a sweet feud that we go to. Potentially Ospreay Okada in AEW as well this year. But similar, like my mind says Okada, but my heart is for my Canadian brethren, Kenny Omega. So I'm going with Kenny Omega on this one, number one.
And if Okada wins this, isn't it 2-2-1? So it's essentially ties up the series.
So if Okada wins, it's tie?
I believe so, yeah.
So it's
Kenny won the G1 and the last Dominion match. Okada won the first Wrestle Kingdom match, and they drew at the first Dominion.
So who's leading right now? Okada.
Kenny. Yeah.
Oh, true. So that means if we do this one more time, they have to do it one more time. I think this is the last time we do this match, to be honest. I don't think we do this match ever again. And I would push that if they haven't already. Them pushing this match out, it's been kind of it's kind of been, I'm pretty sure Observer, Meltzer were referencing that, hey, they could be going towards this match many, many months ago. But as soon as on TV, they started showing the direction. I think that's when some people like me and you were like, fuck it, let's go to the show. Because ticket sales did start to move a bit for this. But yeah, Kenny Omega, Okada, I'm totally in. This card already looks crazy. Adding this to any pay-per-view is nuts. And I'm super, super in.
And Ibushi did look good. Again, he's not the Ibushi of old, but he could go.
I really love that match. I love that match. And then of course Golden Lovers hugging. How could you not? I don't know.
I mean, that's a match we could go to as well. Is Okada Ibushi? Omega Ibushi down the line at some point.
Whoa! Come on! Can't talk like that. What are you talking about? We've seen it before, and it's been amazing. Shout out Peter Pan. But I don't know.
They haven't done it a lot, have they? At least not in modern years.
They did it in the G1, right?
They had a G1 match, yeah, and I think that was it. Since they're at their prime, if you know what I mean.
It's because they swore they would never fight. Remember? That's and he's like, I can't fight you. You're my brother. You're my lover. I can't stop this. I do want to see Takeshita versus Ibushi, and I think we might get a little bit of that in the casino. I feel two ways. I thought that maybe we would get Bandito versus Takeshita for All In. Instead, that is the Ring of Honor Friday show. And unfortunately, we're only in Dallas for a few days. I don't want to spend my Friday night watching Ring of Honor.
No.
But that match sounds awesome. Bandito versus Takeshita. Yeah, please put on a great show. We'll probably try to check it out days after that. But I'm sure people will be raving about it. But I do hope Takeshita's in the Battle Royal or Casino Gauntlet. And I do hope Ibushi, because then we can spiral off and go to that match, which would be amazing. That's the one for me. What do we call the team of Takeshita and the Bucks? The Taka Bucks, the Takesh Bucks,
the Alpha Bucks.
Alpha Bucks. That's definitely the right way. That was the team that was just made for me. Takeshita's my one ace right now, and I'm feeling that he should have been on a bigger spot on this pay-per-view. But again, I'm hoping that we get the Ibushi Takeshita.
I think he could be a project after All In. Magan in the chat saying, give me Okada versus Takeshita. And I think a babyface Takeshita versus heel unified champion Okada would be the way to go.
Yeah, that would be a big one. Hopefully All Out, maybe, potentially, possibly. Really looking forward to that. Takeshita in that gauntlet thing, I'm hoping. But Ibushi in AEW, hopefully we get some more spots, because I honestly thought he looked great. And that match on Wednesday was awesome with him and Okada. So book it. You're going with Okada, I'm going with Omega.
We also had announced on Collision last night, we had Kyle Fletcher defeating Daniel Garcia in the main event, and will be challenging Adam Cole for the TMT Championship at All In.
Yeah, I think this is the right move. They had the one match that led to a tie, essentially, a draw. So we're going back to this. I totally see Kyle Fletcher taking this title from Adam Cole. We've been in rehab with Cole, but the rehab was like, quick, give him a title to hype him up. And I don't think it worked, to be honest. And I think Fletcher, you just can't deny that he's on the up. I mean, the story that I watched on Collision made me completely forget we were there. Adam Cole and MJF fought for the tag titles on the pre-show. Yeah. And look at what Kyle Fletcher, how he looked then, and how it looks like Kyle Fletcher ate him. Yeah, he ate that guy. So the proto star now should take this title from Adam Cole 100%. In fact, he should steamroller Adam Cole. I'm so sorry, Adam Cole. You used to be our favorite, but right now just ain't the time. And I think Fletcher's on the one up. And you can't necessarily go Fletcher for the main title quite yet, but this is the perfect little stepping stone for him right now.
He's someone down the line we could have in that unified championship mix.
Yeah.
But I completely agree. It's such a shame, but Adam Cole just isn't it anymore. I just think the aura's completely gone. I don't think he's working as a babyface. He looks like, I know it's always been a body thing, and I get it. Sucks talking about that, but he looks undersized, and not because of his build, but just his presence is not where it used to be. Like, he's never been the biggest guy, but I always thought his aura and his presence and everything made him feel bigger than he is. And I think that's gone. I think that stupid blue and red t-shirt doesn't help because it's
awful.
Abysmal.
The Paragon name is
awful.
It sounds like a rental car company.
Yeah. We're flogging a dead horse with just the Undisputed Era, just redone. And I really don't know where you go with Cole after this. Maybe down the line, these guys can go for the trios titles or something, but I don't see it with any of them as singles guys anymore, unfortunately. And I think this is time to strap gold on Fletcher. You know, we could be building towards a sort of Don Callis family with a lot of gold at the moment. You know, if Takeshita wins the ROH championship, Fletcher wins this, Okada wins the unified.
I don't see Takeshita winning it because he's going off to the G1 like a week after. So I don't think you would give him the Ring of Honor title, but fuck it, why not?
How often do they do Ring of Honor?
I will say, I've said on a show once or twice, and I've told you, I got tickets to Peter Pan in Japan at Corcoran Hall. I'm going to night 2.
Okay.
But Davie, they just announced for night 1, which is in a bigger arena, Zack Sabre Jr. is wrestling, but only on night 1. And I only have tickets for night 2. And now I'm wondering, they're going to do some big, like, Takeshita, Zack Sabre Jr. match on the night 1. And now I'm going to have to get tickets for that one, too, because I don't think I want to miss that one. I'm hoping Takeshita can make the Peter Pan special in Japan, but because of timing, I do think it will make sense. And I'll just put this out there into the universe, since sometimes I say things that come true. Ibushi looked really good on Wednesday. And, you know, he's a DDT legend. Takeshita's kind of a DDT legend lately too, so maybe if they got together in Japan, it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen. Putting that out there, rubbing that into existence, hopefully. So I get Ibushi in Japan,
and Zach is now the champion again.
Zach's the IWGP champion.
On some random show that barely anyone saw. Zach,
it's looking like because of an injury, right? Like Goto's injured. Is that why?
Yes and no. Goto is injured, but apparently the plan was for him to drop to Zach at the show. I think, and again, it kind of adds fuel to maybe Ospreay not being able to challenge for the world title, because I could see him versus Zach for the IWGP Championship at Forbidden Door.
That
in London
should be the move. Yeah, that should absolutely be the match for Forbidden Door, 100%. But yeah, kind of backtracking here too. Adam Cole and needs to go back to being a heel with the Undisputed Era. If you're going to keep them together, make them a heel again. Do something. The TNT title run, unfortunately, just wasn't it. And I think the crowd is organically moving with like the fleshlights, you know, the fleshlight section. As I saw, the match with Garcia was pretty good, but I'm happy he won, and I'm thinking Fletcher should win again. And you could just see it, like, man, he's really stepping up. He's had a hell of a year last year. So,
and what's also going to be interesting is eliminating one of the titles will hopefully elevate the TNT Championship a little bit more, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have the Tag Team Championship. It is the team of the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, defending against Jet Speed of Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Patriarchy.
Yeah, so now this is a three-way, a triple threat. No ladders involved yet, as far as we're concerned. So no Edge, but we got Christian and his kid, Nick Wayne, taking on the Hurt Syndicate and Jet Speed. You know what? These are the three. We assumed it was going to be Jet Speed versus Hurt Syndicate, like 2-on-2. But adding Christian and Nick Wayne, I think that's a pretty fun, smart move. I think Christian and Nick Wayne have kind of been on the back burner a little bit. I don't think it's been as hot as maybe it could have been or once was with the Christian gimmick and everything. But if the stories and the reports at some websites, I think Observant stuff is saying Christian really wanted to like ride this out and finish this, then good for him. And let's see where this goes. I think maybe he loses and then beats down on Christian or beats down on Nick Wayne. I'm not quite sure what happens because we need Edge coming back, right?
Yeah, I think you could do the angle at this show. I don't think you've got talented people in this match, but you know, just the Hurt Syndicate have been so dominant, and it has kind of killed the division a little bit. Like I enjoy them as a team, and I kind of enjoy seeing them steamroll your jobbers and stuff, but they've been killing like the big teams as well. Like they've murdered Knight and Speedball so many times, and they're trying to make them look defiant by like keep getting up, but it just hasn't worked for me as anyone being compelling to beat them. I respect that from Christian. Like the plan was apparently, Edge and Christian versus FTR on this show. But he wanted to finish this angle. I think Best of the Super Juniors kind of, delayed plans a bit because Nick Wayne was off for a month when this feud was kind of picking up between him and Christian. But I think you could have them lose, whether it's Nick Wayne like walks out on Christian to have the Hurt Syndicate beat him up, or Christian takes the pin and Nick Wayne snaps and is beating him down, Sabian's beating him down, and then you think, Edge comes out, the save, the big stare down, the handshake, the hug, all of that. And then it's a little of a 180 for Christian, but at this point, we just pull the trigger. We got to get there. Yeah. Who knows how long we have with both Edge and Christian in ring after this. So get the FTR match and the Bucks match done. Like, we don't need to see much more than that, but we do need those two matches in AEW. And I think Edge and Christian teaming in Toronto makes all the sense in the world.
TLC, All Out, Toronto, FTR, Young Bucks, Edge and Christian.
Sure.
Book it. Fucking book it. I do think we got to do Cope coming out to save Christian in this. And I think that's the moment we're going to get with Christian, Edge, maybe getting back together and getting one tag run out there. They want to win those straps. So maybe we go in that direction or something. But either way, I think we're getting that angle at All In. I like the Hurt Syndicate, but I know what you're saying because they came in and absolutely geeked out Private Party so much that they might go over to WWE. So like it ruined them, but made these two, you go, oh man, look at these guys. Of course they killed those two. Like they look like they could eat them. Whereas I do love Jet Speed. I think ever since teaming them together on TV, they've been on a hell of a run with TV matches. They've really entertained me. So I'm happy they got this opportunity and everything, considering, we've watched Speedball wrestle just years ago in crowds of like 50, 100, 200 people. And now he's wrestling, 20,000 people or so. So cool, really cool to see. I'm thinking this one could be a sleeper hit of a match. Like they're going to have some fun stuff. Hopefully it doesn't go too long, but I kind of see Hurt Syndicate retaining.
Yeah. Evil Evan in the chat is saying Mama Wayne got to get involved and cost Hurt Business the straps.
What do you mean? MJF tried to distract them with the ladies and it didn't work, sort of, kind of.
Like that is the only other option, is whether you have Christian and Nick Wayne have a little run with it first, but
right.
I don't know. You don't have too long until All Out. It's September.
How do we get the titles from Hurt Syndicate to either Bucks, FTR, or Edge and Christian? So not quite sure.
Yeah. All right. And then we have the men's battle royal. I think Gauntlet, Casino Gauntlet. I think we're both saying MJF for this, are we?
So okay, so like there's some good stuff here. They've only announced MJF, Mark Briscoe, and now Mystico, which we're not getting the hair versus mask match. I assume both guys were like, no, I'm not giving up my hair or my mask.
I mean, that could be a Forbidden Door match as well.
True. That definitely could be. But I'm happy that we're getting Mystico in Texas. I've been listening to that song nonstop, and I think it'll be magical when he makes his entrance. But that's 3 guys announced. I also presume we get Takeshita, maybe Ibushi. I can't remember how many people we had last year, but think that's where we had Ricochet debut. That's where we had Nigel make his return as well, right? So
do we get a Jericho return? in this?
Why would you put that out there? Why would you put that hex on us, Ricky Bobby? Why would you do that? Why would you say that?
I could see Jericho coming back with Judas.
I would pop. I don't give a fuck. You know what? I would.
It's Jericho. After.
Yeah, you can go back and
come
in. Yeah. I'm not saying we need a whole another run and all this, but come in, have Ibushi kick your ass or something. I'm trying to look. Last year we had a bunch of people in this match, so you could potentially go through a few different. Who did we have? We had where was that? It was the Christian 12-man. Okay, Orange Cassidy, Okada, Nigel, Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre Jr., Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Hangman, Jeff Jarrett, Ricochet, Christian, and Killswitch. That's 12 people. Then fuck yeah, you're gonna have Takeshita. You're gonna have maybe your Josh Alexander. I'm trying to think of who else we're missing. Ibushi being one of the
Are there any releases you could see, WWE releases you could see coming over? We had Ricochet debut last year during the match.
AJ.
He's just signed a 1-year contract.
No. Big Boom AJ.
Oh, fuck off.
I wanted AJ at All In. I didn't tell you which AJ I wanted at All In. He's on the pre-show, I believe. We don't know what the pre-show is yet, but I do imagine the pre-show. They have a contest running, Dave. Okay. If you send in a promo to the Costco guys and they pick their favorite one, you get to sit and watch the whole show with them in their box.
How are we still talking about the Costco guys?
I kind of forgot about them. Yeah. I kind of forgot about them. Influencing works. I have become a Costco membership holder. I am obsessed with Costco, but I don't think it necessarily has to do with them telling me to go to Costco. I haven't bought a double chunk chocolate cookie just yet. The glizzies are lit though, but I think I don't know, other surprises for this main event. Who else has been let go from WWE that you could see showing up? Not Cedric, since he's in TNA and other reasons.
There's no one really.
There's no one. Duke Hudson.
Mind. Sure.
Gold Dust. Dustin.
Oh yeah, you've got to have Dustin out there.
Sammy Guevara. I would imagine they're on the show, with the Freebirds and everything.
Yeah,
that pre-show.
I could see them. Yeah, a pre-show match.
It's gonna be the Costco guy, a big boom with the Sons of Texas and the Freebirds versus a bunch of heels. That's what you would do.
Yeah, didn't we have 10-man tags and 12-man tags last year? So
yeah,
I could see them doing something like that.
They did a 16-man.
Yeah, that's
team last year.
They'll totally do that. Do you see it being a similar amount of people, around 12 entries? Because obviously it's just keeps going until there's a winner.
Yeah. And I do think MJF should win this thing. As much as I want my Takeshita or Ibushi and all that, but I do think MJF winning makes it a whole lot interesting with this cash-in kind of gimmick. So we're going with that. Any other surprises? Like you said, I think Ibushi, Takeshita, 12 people. There's some room for something that maybe we're missing, like a New Japan or something. But what about the women's casino gauntlet? That one maybe is a bit more. There's a few more releases that you could slide in there, right?
Yeah, I would totally go Athena to win it. The reports this week are that AEW have interest in Isla Dawn. So potentially she could be someone that debuts in this match.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of other people being released recently. I think you've got probably Hikaru Shida and Riho. We haven't seen them for a while. I could see them being in this match. Tekla obviously will be in it. Statlander is, I believe, the number 1 entry.
Okay.
Do we have a number 2 entry yet? Or is that being determined on Wednesday, is it?
Yeah, we don't have that for the women. So far, it's only Statlander, I think.
So I could see Willow being number 2.
True.
And do Willow Stat to start things
off.
off.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that would be really good.
But I would put my money on Athena. I think it makes the most sense and it establishes her in a big way. Chris Jones saying Bea Priestley. Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know necessarily about that. She wrestled for a little bit in AEW, did she not, before going to WWE NXT?
She did, and then the pandemic happened and she was stuck at home.
Yeah. Either way, this card looks pretty good. I'm really sold on a lot of the big matches for this show. Obviously, the main event, obviously Okada Omega, but everything else is looking tip top for me. Like this is a solid All In, treating this like it is a big card. They focused on the stories going into it, and they've done a great job.
Yeah, I think it's something Tony Khan's learned. I think when he started and we just had the 4 pay-per-views, he kind of treated them all equally. Like, no, we don't have a WrestleMania. They're all WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I think now he's like, no, All In is the way to do it. The first All In, the Wembley All In, was a lot of fun, but we were very critical of the build for that because it didn't feel like this big show. They learned about that last year. They put a bit more focus. This year, I feel everything has been built up for a substantial amount of time. And then you had nice like breather weeks, like the Mexico show and things like that, to just break things up and let things chill for a little bit. I think they've done a great job. Do you see anything else being added to the main card? You said we're probably going to have a 22-man tag on the pre, but anything else being added to the main card, do you think?
I don't know about main card, just because like that's already a long show. We do know that this starts 1 p.m. Texas time.
Yes, I believe so.
So 1 p.m. Texas time, we're going to.
I think that's the pre, right? I think that's the pre at 1.
The pre-show. Oh no, is it? I don't know now.
I don't know. We were told to get our passes at noon, so
yes,
I would imagine it starts after that.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, the show's during the day. Don't forget that, people. It's during the day, which I love. It means you still have your whole night ahead of you, your whole day ahead of you after the show. But I'm trying to see now when this thing actually starts. And I think it's 2 p.m. It says 3 p.m. Eastern time is when the pay-per-view starts. So that means the actual pay-per-view for us will be 2 p.m. Texas time. So,
yes.
It can't. I don't know if they can fit anything else. AEW tends to have like
we say that all the time, and somehow they manage it. But I think two battle royals, and we've got like probably 4 matches that with entrances are going to go 30+ minutes. So I don't think they should add anything else.
No, I know they will add stuff for that pre-show.
Oh, we'll probably get the Ops, right? We'll probably get a trios match, maybe the Ops v Claudio, Yuta, and who would they have replaced? Oh, Gabe Kidd, I guess.
Right. They're gonna have their moment in that main event match. Yeah. Wheeler Yuta's getting the Busaiku knee from Bryan Danielson in that fucking match.
And
Wheeler Yuta's the one guy who deserves the Busaiku because he's the one who's been doing it like a shaggy dog.
Did you see the Claudio promo on Collision?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
When he's like, and I am a trios world champion. And then Yuta just from the darkness goes, and I am too.
I loved him on season 2 of White Lotus so much.
Oh my god, that hair is just getting ridiculous.
Yeah, Danielson's shaving his fucking head when he comes into the ring. He doesn't even care about Hangman. I'm not here for Hangman. I'm here for you, motherfucker.
Get that mop off your head.
And the beard too, you bastard. Danielson's. You're gonna lose your mind if Danielson comes out.
Oh yeah,
but he is. He's gonna come out. Sting too.
Oh, we're gonna get Final Countdown. We're getting Metallica. We're getting the Pixies.
It's gonna be like Ozzy Osbourne's funeral today.
Yeah, it'll just be a concert.
Yeah,
Mox will be like, for fuck's sake.
Mox better come out to Wild Thing. Fuck these themes I don't like. Kenny, you're coming out to Battle Cry.
No, Mox, come on, heel Mox can't come out to Wild
What about Hangman? He has to come out to his actual theme, right? Or like what, the Highwayman again, like the country music again? Because I don't like his theme now as much as I like his original theme.
I like his new one's grown on me. I do. This is like since he's had that darker edge, right?
We need the original.
Have both.
Yeah. You start with the new one, like, and then all of a sudden it goes back into maybe the Dark Order hug him as they send him off as well. Fuck it,
man. We said about on that Evolution 2018 review about how much better the themes were then, and it's my golden rule. You've got to be able to sing their name with the theme, you know, and I remembered that. I forgot how great Billy Kay's theme is because it's just Billy Kay, Billy Kay, Billy Kay. And Hangman's new theme does fit that role. It's Hangman Page, Hangman Page.
I like I'm Shayna Baszler.
I'm Shayna Baszler. I'm
Shayna Baszler. Yeah, I hope Hangman. I don't know. You can come out to some Johnny Cash again. He did that once or twice, like the Highwayman stuff. So either way, I want his old theme.
Is he coming out on a horse?
I might cry if he does. I don't know. That'd be fucking sick. He has before. This would be the one time to do it again.
Right?
It's like it's fucking Texas, right?
Just charges at Mox on a horse with a sword. Takes his head off, and
I kind of want the horse entrance now. You've sold me on that. Yeah, like we've seen him on the horse, and it was the greatest fucking thing ever. But like for a main event of a pay-per-view, like come out on a horse for your match in Texas death. Have the horse like carry all the weapons. The horse with a crown of thorns. Is what I want.
I still need to get my cowboy shirt. I
haven't got a proper one. I ordered one on Shein.
Yeah,
Shein. It sucks.
You said it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I returned it. So
I'm looking on Amazon at the moment. But
yeah, maybe I will too. Well, have you gotten a Hawaiian shirt for Weird Al this Wednesday?
Dude, come on. Have I got a Hawaiian shirt? Please.
Does the Pope go to White Sox games?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's our preview. We are very excited for All In Texas. And again, next Saturday during the day, we will be there, Globe Life Field. And right after, whether we're at a bar after or in our Uber back to Dallas from Arlington, we will be recording a little bit of a show. So look for the audio Saturday night, Saturday evening after All In. We will be putting that audio up for your listening pleasure. So hear all of our thoughts. We might be a little lit off the Texas sun, the Texas tea, but we will give our thoughts via audio forms one way or another. So again, follow the socials. We will be doing that. And we're very excited for Texas this week. Very excited. We're y'all in. All right. We're ready. We're fucking ready. Let's go. I love you, Tony Khan. There you go. There's our preview. What else is going on in the world of wrestling?
Shall we talk a little bit? It feels like it was 6 years ago now, but CM Punk versus John Cena from last week's Night of Champions.
Yes, I feel like we have missed a little while. We've missed a few things here on our week off because in that week, CM Punk has apologized to Saudi Arabia. He said, I wasn't angry at you, Saudi. I was just shitting on the Miz, as everyone does. So sorry.
I was just shitting on your the Miz.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but like how I felt is if I do my job, right? If my boss or my company that I work for said, Braden, you know that job you've been doing for years? We want you to go do your job. And for one shift, you're going to wrestle or you're going to do your job in Saudi Arabia. And for that one shift, you're going to make $5 million. You know what? I'd probably go do it. That's just the truth.
You know, they're not getting paid any extra for these shows anymore.
What?
Yeah, no, that's changed. Like it's all just factored into the general pay of the company. So
I don't know about that. Really?
Yeah.
I find that weird. Well, either way, I'd probably do the job because I'm getting paid. That's my job. And if I did get a bonus, which I still think they might be getting some extra something from that. It's just a little too rich, that blood money. How do you not, right? I would do it. But you know what? The problem with the CM Punk thing is this guy's got Punk in his fucking name. He's been trying to be the punk rock guy. He's been trying to be the voice of the voiceless and this and that. And for years beating that drum only for him to turn around and take the dollar, which I think that is the sole reason people are maybe giving him some shit, and rightfully so. People are calling him a hypocrite, this and that. I think if he wasn't someone who was always, voicing his opinions loud and proud, whether it's in promos, social media, etc., I don't think people would be giving him a hard time, considering that's been his MO is like, look, I am a punk. I am not the government and this and that. And like, it just feels like the guy you once thought was leading that charge is maybe just finally, turned heel. The Dark Knight, the live long enough to see yourself become a villain kind of thing. And I think that's rubbed people the wrong way. I'm personally like, I don't know. I'm not that shocked. I'm not that like butthurt about it. Like, get the bag. The guy told us he's here to make money, right? Like,
I would say the difference though Braden, is you're not worth $12 million.
Yeah.
And going out to do Saudi for a day's work. You know, it's I thought the whole thing stunk. Like
it's so stinky.
It's you know, I get some of these people working it. You look at, and I always think, you look at the show and there are genuine fans in this crowd. I thought the crowd were awesome for Night of Champions, actually. Like, you could tell that they love this product. The people there still deserve to see WWE and go to the shows and have fun and that. But there is all the bad shit that goes around it. Now, if it was someone like, I don't condemn people in this company for going to do this show. It is their job. It's part of their contract or whatever. But when you have been as vocal as a CM Punk has, and you can't tell me, if CM Punk said, you know, I don't want to do this, I'm not going, I don't see them cutting bait with CM Punk for not doing the show.
Yeah.
You know, he's a huge name, and it's actually your Punk, Cena's, Ortons, Romans of the world who do have that stroke, who can go, I'd rather sit this one out. And I just thought the whole thing was, I don't get why you do this to one of your top baby faces. Because, and it pretty much came into the story that you're a hypocrite for having this match. And like, I just don't, I think he's lost fans because of this. He's CM Punk. He's always going to be popular. But I just think the way everything happened, what really made me sick is when I see people like Triple H in the presser, and I think Rob Van Dam on Twitter has said similar things after, like, oh, he's it's good. He's really grown up. Oh, it is growing up, just, you know, he's accepted capitalism, and that to get anywhere in life, you got to work for a murderous dictator or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's, if that's growing up, I don't want to grow up. Like, that made me feel pretty sick. That, oh, he's seen the error of his ways. No, he's stood for something before. Yeah. And that was cool. Now, not so much. And it just put a dampener on this whole match. I think we know,
ruined it.
We know Cena's limitations at this point, but there was still that intrigue. I think when Cena said he's going to do this retirement tour, CM Punk, John Cena one last time was a match people were genuinely excited about. And like, I'm one of them. I'm like, I don't know what it will look like. I'm not expecting it to be Money in the Bank 2011, but man, I'm going to have some fun with this, because WWE can kind of pull off miracles with these kind of matches. Look at Rock Hogan. You know, they know how to do it. And it just had this black cloud over it where I'm going, I should be really excited about this, but I think CM Punk just comes across like a complete sellout hypocrite. Cena's this weird heel character. The pipe bomb, we talked about that. We both liked the idea of it, but didn't quite land. Yeah. And then CM Punk's coming out doing bad Cena rap impressions where you just go, man, Triple H is just, he's fucking you, isn't he? He is fucking you here. And then the match, like, it was as good as it was going to be. I think as far as this Cena run goes, I thought it was on the upper end of it. I think the bells and whistles he certainly needs in these matches now. And there was some fun kickouts and stuff, and the crowd were into it. I thought the match was as good as it was going to be. I didn't hate it, but as I said, this black cloud surrounding the whole thing made it just feel weird. And CM Punk's definitely gone down in my eyes.
Yeah, I haven't loved his run in WWE. I loved the feud with Drew. They made the best they could with his injury and everything. When we got to the Hell in a Cell, it was really top stuff, I thought. But besides that, I have not liked his WWE run. It's probably made him the most fucking money he's ever made, and fans are so happy and this and that. But if you compare this run to his initial AEW run, like night and day, in my opinion. And what I find funny about that is MJF cutting promos like, you might as well come out here repping hustle, loyalty, respect, which is really funny considering that's what he did last week on SmackDown. I hated the match. I think you said it. Like, this should have been the biggest WWE match potentially outside of Cody versus Punk, which we'll get there one day, maybe WrestleMania. But Cena Punk one last time, fans were like, whoa, what if they do Money in the Bank? Okay, what if they do SummerSlam? What if it's his last match in December that Cena's been hyping up. That's clearly got to be CM Punk. No, let's do it in Saudi, the place that CM Punk is shit on over the years, and now has to apologize to that one guy in the crowd in Saudi. The whole thing stinks. The whole thing made me not care about it at all. It made my interest go from 0 to 100 to 0.
You could have just had, Cena take out Punk, write him off TV for a few weeks. We get that money in the Bank main event felt like the Saudi main event. The Logan Paul Jey Uso one. That should have been the Saudi show.
Yeah.
You should have done Punk Cena either at Money in the Bank or at SummerSlam. And I don't understand the thinking from WWE to put one of your biggest stars in a position where people are gonna judge them and feel less about them and not want to support them as much after the fact. And I've seen some of the biggest CM Punk defenders being like, yeah, I can't really defend this time round.
Isn't that funny? That's super funny. It's hell of a week to be a CM Punk hater. Now, I'm not a CM Punk hater, but I definitely have times where I've not been supporting things he's done, things he's said, and he's a false prophet. He showed me this week false prophets do exist, and he is one of them. So, make your bag. But it definitely, I hated the match. I hated the Cena pipe bomb. I hated the promo from CM Punk, and I went in being like, no, hold on, it's CM Punk and John Cena, let's go one more time. It totally didn't hit for me. It totally just made me not even care. I only watched it today. I figured, well, I haven't watched it, I should probably watch it. I didn't hear anything about it other than people shitting on CM Punk's week in Saudi. So weekend in Saudi and CM Punk just embarrassing himself, really, to me. I think he dropped down a peg for me. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of all these people who put their bodies on the line and for our entertainment and this and that. But this guy makes it a real hard. This guy makes it hard to be a fan sometimes. And this was one of them where I was like, really, dude? You just sacrificed the bag for your I don't know, your morals essentially here. You fell back on your sword, the one that you swung for years, being like, hey, look at me, I represent this and this and this. And no, you're a false prophet. You are just like every other fucking person here who wanted the bag. And I don't know, I woke up grumpy that day when I went on Twitter. Yeah, did you wake up grumpy every other fucking day? Come on, man. Come on.
Chris saying in the chat they had to get it out the way because Rumble is in Saudi. Punk doesn't have to be at the Rumble. No, the only show I would say, if it was in Saudi, is WrestleMania. That's the only one you really can't get away. It's scripted entertainment. This isn't a real sports tournament where you got to play in these games. You have the freedom of writing whatever you want to write. You can have CM Punk taken out on the TV just before the Rumble to stop him being in the Rumble, and he can set up his Mania match at the Elimination Chamber or the Raw after Rumble or whatever. It just shows his values are just all bullshit.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes it, if you didn't claim that for years, that you were the voice of the voiceless and the Diet Pepsi and all this kind of shit, I don't know, maybe people wouldn't give you such a hard time, but you were you are vocal about everything, but now you're hella quiet when your bank account's getting loud. So I don't know. I find it weird. I'm not someone who, sorry, yeah, go for it.
No, I was going to say, and as well, he can't do a proper apology, and he can't go out there and be like, I've got nothing against the people of Saudi Arabia, or I've got a problem with the government or whatever, because you know what happens? You get killed. A guy literally got killed for being critical about Saudi Arabia on Twitter, weeks before this event happened. Yeah. So if you can't actually put out your own apology, that's showing what the fuck's wrong with this place?
Yeah, it's messy, man. It's so messy. And again, I want to support and all these wrestlers and this and that, but it does make me look at him a little differently, I'd say. And I'm not even one of the big Punk, fan. I through the years loved some of the entertainment that he's provided us, and I'm sure he will continue to give us some good stuff. But this has definitely knocked him down a peg for me as a viewer, and I'm sure maybe for a lot of his supporters were like, really, dude? Kind of weird. What's next? He's gonna show up at a Chris Brown concert and say, "Oh, I've loved your music the whole time," when you wanted to fight him a few years ago. It just feels like, I said it, false prophet. If if you were putting all your eggs in the CM Punk basket, how does it kind of feel now? Like, is there supporters out there that are like, but he's just trying to buy his dog a house? It's like, yeah, I would have taken the bag too, but the apology, the promo at that press conference was laughable to me. I had a field day. I watched it twice. I couldn't barely watch the Cena rap once, but the apology to that guy in the crowd, that is one of the funniest things I've ever fucking seen. Like, oh my God, what is it? The apology has to be bigger than something like
louder than the
yeah. I don't know. You apologize for that. There's a few other things I think he needs to apologize to maybe gain some respect back, but he definitely lost some respect from some people this week, and it was almost like a humiliation ritual.
Oh,
from Triple H, right?
100%.
Now get out there and bark, doggy. Now, give me, jump around, do what we say, kind of thing. I don't know. I didn't like the match either. You know what even got a bigger laugh out of that promo was Penta pulling a Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
During that match, you had Seth Rollins come out dressed as Guy Fieri, which I thought was lit. And then you have Penta come out and he's like, wait, I got to make the save. But first, let me hit my moves and my dance and my walk. I got a huge chuckle out of that. But the match did nothing for me, which is a shame considering we do a show called The Champ Is Here. Just last month, we looked at Cena versus Punk, the original 2011 feud, and how awesome that feud is and how not awesome this one was for me anyways. I think you could still go back to Cena versus Punk as the last match. Like what is bigger than that? What is the next
I did quite enjoy the tease of Cena, maybe seeing the error of his ways and going baby, but before turning again. But I'm still not sure. We're getting Cody and Cena at SummerSlam now. So where do we go with that? I did think I thought that was probably the highlight of the show was the Cody Randy match. I didn't mind. I kind of liked this slow tease with Randy. It continued on SmackDown. I do see him eventually turning on Cody, and maybe Cody wins the title at SummerSlam, and that's the big feud after that is heel Randy against Cody Rhodes.
I don't know what it is, but this week specifically, WWE just killed all of my interest. I don't know what it must be. The Punk stuff for me personally, just as a fan, I'm like, I tuned into the show. Randy Cody was fine. I think maybe they were holding back for down the line. You could easily have that as a WrestleMania match. Cody versus Randy. I can't believe Michael Cole was talking about Ted DiBiase Jr. Thought that was funny. The match actually was fine. That was the highlight of that show, I guess, for me. I did not like this show. I think the Punk stuff has made me even dislike WWE even more this week. I've not been interested. Cody Cena 1 was fucking awful. I don't know how much better it's going to be the second time around. Will Travis Scott be involved? Will Jelly Roll be involved? I don't know, but hopefully Cody gets the title back just to get away from that. But my interest was at a low and now is at an all-time low.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because we need Cena as a babyface to close the year, but then it just makes this heel turn kind of feel redundant. If the whole thing is I'm gonna leave with the championship, surely you want that to be the final match. Is Cena gonna leave with the championship? But on the other hand, you want that big feel good farewell for John Cena at the end of the year. So I really don't know.
I really don't like it. I'm not liking it at all. Also, the stuff with Seth, you're teasing Seth, Punk, Cena. It's like, what are we doing? What are you doing here?
Yeah, so I think we're getting Seth Punk at SummerSlam, right?
Yeah.
In
some sort of stipulation. Match. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of over that already. We've done it. We did it a lot this year. Yeah,
we've had it a lot. I've enjoyed their matches so far, but we have had it a lot. The other thing that was teased is Punk and Gunther. So whether they go with that and maybe the Seth thing is more like I'm gonna cash in, as they're looming over it, maybe.
Yeah.
Punk Gunther is something I'd be interested in.
Absolutely, that's true. But I don't know. SummerSlam one night is I imagine night 2 main event Cena versus Cody, Punk versus Seth potentially night 1, Punk versus Gunther night 1. We're not quite sure, but I did not like Night of Champions. I was a little confused that Jade winning as well with Asuka. Like with another, like 2 years in a row of the Saudi shows with the weird pinning finishes with the referee and stuff. I don't know where's Jimmy Corderas on the case here to figure out what happened here with Jade
talking some nonsense on Twitter, most likely. But
yeah, probably.
fucking idiot. I really dislike that match. Like I feel I've given Jade as many chances as I can give. But
yeah,
you've been wrestling like since the beginning of AEW pretty much now. Like you should be better.
It sucked.
I didn't get the promo after it at all. It felt like she knew she was gonna get booed, but then she's cutting this like babyface promo about like almost being an underdog, and if you keep fighting, you'll get to that thing. And I'm like, Jade, you're like 6 foot tall and jacked and have steamrolled everyone you've had matches with so far. What are you talking about? Like, it just, that felt awkward. I mean, I guess it's to tie in with more of the Naomi briefcase thing, but just Jade, she's not good. She's not good in ring. And I get it. Like, look at her. She looks like an absolute star, but it's the end of this match was so bad, and it just exposed her so much. And I was like, really? And I feel anyone else would go, no, let's do that finish again. Let's like whisper, Asuka, kick out. Let's hit this once more and actually make it.
It was awful, embarrassing. And I think last year, like they've added it into the storyline where Randy was screwed because Gunther pinned him, but it's happened quite a lot with WWE, especially in the last year of like weird things with people not kicking out or the referee, this and that. Like, I don't know quite what it is. Cause again, like the tribal list of people love to jump on all the wrestling. Oh, look what the referee. It's like, man, you see it in everything. Like, it's just something that happens. But in this case, like you could have just went back and like redone it or I don't know. I don't know what you would do. It's hard in the moment. Right. But still, it was like, oh, first of all, Jade's winning. And second of all, she's winning off of that. It was a little messy. And I know people, the WWE defenders are always like, oh, it happens. But when it's on the other show, oh my God, the referee is holding the ladder. Did you see that? Oh, embarrassing. It's like, dude, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's going to happen in any show in any company. And I get it. But when it does happen in WWE, you're like, hey, isn't this supposed to be like the NFL? And I guess the refs in the NFL fuck up once in a while too. But
yeah. The rest of the show, like it was all pretty forgettable. I thought Rhea and Raquel was actually quite fun for what it was. Probably one of Raquel's better matches in the company. Solo and Jacob, I think we called that with Solo being the new US champion, and that story continues on SmackDown with.
Oh, that's so laughable. Not even. It's just like eye rolling. Like the new bloodline. The new bloodline is now with Solo as the champ. The lads in the back. What's the new name for Hikuleo?
Tala Tonga, I think.
The Tala Tonga?
Yeah,
because he's Tala.
Yeah. But just man, like these guys, there's just no aura between all of them, is there? And like compared to like the Usos as single acts, they are what they are. Like they're not the most incredible wrestlers in the world, but they've got charisma about them. They have a connection with the audience. Like Roman as the stoic leader has a charisma about him. Just none of these guys do. And I love Jacob Fatu. I think what they've been doing with him is great. This week, I'm like, across the board in WWE, and it's something else putting me off. Can we dial back with just hitting over the head with the catchphrases? I think Jacob Fatu is really cool. I think when he cuts a promo, they sound unique and authentic and stuff. Yet he's beating down Solo at the beginning of SmackDown this week. And he's just going, oh, gas, no brakes. You know what I mean? And I'm like, can you imagine? Like, yeah, The Rock has had a million catchphrases, but can you imagine him doing a beatdown going, if you smell what The Rock is cooking? Or like and the Naomi with the proceed with caution, Tiffany with it's Tiffy time. Like, right. I get it. It's a thing in wrestling to have your catchphrases, but
merch moving.
It's making your stars feel more plastic. Do you know what I mean?
I guess that's what they want, though. Like, that's WWE, right?
And
like...
it's at the opening of SmackDown this week. I'm like, man, Fatu, you're losing me now because you're just hitting me over the head with this. Well, it's meant to be an intense beatdown of this guy who stole your title, and instead you're just getting your T-shirt catchphrases out there.
It's what makes them money, so I guess that's what they care about, right? Like, yeah, I know what you mean. WWE takes something cool and they ruin it for sure. That's been a thing with them. They always got their finger on the pulse, don't they? Really, their finger's about a mile away from the pulse, but they're there. They're there eventually. I know what you mean, because that's how I feel, but WWE just isn't wrestling to me. It's not. It's sports entertainment.
Well, I was going back and forth. I don't know why, but going back and forth with people on Twitter this week because that they were confused as to why Kota Ibushi Okada is happening, and it's like, oh, you shouldn't be telling stories from another company, and I was like,
right.
Ibushi's been in this company for almost 3 years at this point.
He's appeared, yeah.
His story, he tagged with Omega in arguably the biggest wrestling show of all time. Like, their history has been told. Like, commentary, fill in the gaps. And, like, I just don't get people that watch WWE. I don't know how they'd handle watching any actual proper TV drama, because it would be so confusing for them.
Well, who's this person? How did this person? Why is this person talking to this person? We need a video package to explain why these two characters would be talking to each other.
And it's like, I know, and it's just the tribalism's fucking ridiculous. Because meanwhile on WWE, they go, oh, did you know Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair were friends in NXT? We've never shown it on TV, but Charlotte looked out for Alexa on TV. And you know what I do as an audience member? I go, thank you, Michael Cole. Thank you for telling me that. That's an interesting bit of information that's going to help with the rest of this story. It's not rocket science. None of this is. And just, I don't know, WWE is just getting so dumbed down again.
It is. It's the watered down, yeah.
And I think they had a nice run. And I thought they had a nice run of being a little bit more complex with some of your bloodline stories with, you know, Sammy, with Jay, with Drew McIntyre and stuff like that. And it's just so spoon-fed. Like, this is the match we're giving to you and you're gonna like it right now. And it's just dumb. Like, don't treat your fans like fucking idiots. Like, it's why people laugh at this shit we all enjoy, because it's so childlike. It's catering to the dumbest people right now. And it's just trust that we can actually understand a complex story.
Well, you could also maybe understand why they would book a second WWE roast event with Kill Tony after SummerSlam. Maybe we'll get a WrestleMania on the front house of the White House, the front yard. Maybe we'll get a WrestleMania with TKO on Trump's front lawn next year too. Talking about dumbing it down, you know what I mean? Definitely what WWE's been doing.
Also, like some other matches added to Evolution with, again, no build. Like Io Sky basically being, Rhea Ripley, you're a bigger star than me. Let's have the match. Okay. Tiffany Stratton comes out. Hey, Trish, you should probably be on this show. Challenge for my title. Man.
Yeah.
But
I'd rather go to Beyonce.
This is the company with the stories, right?
Company.
Like, both those matches, great. Love Io, love Rhea. Like, we've seen really good stuff with them in the past. That triple threat match was incredible. One of the best matches of the year. But what a lazy way to get there. Tiffany and Trish, again, like, just lazy. It's
okay. The ref will fuck up the finish in the match anyways.
Yeah.
I think Rhea and Io should be the main event of Evolution.
Yes.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Io and Ripley have been the big stars for women, especially this year, the last few years in WWE. And I think they deserve that main event spot. I think Trish versus Tiff is a smart thing. We were talking about how Trish and Lita teaming on the original Evolution was a pretty cool moment. And, you know, Trish has been kind of getting her feet wet with WWE in the last year or two here and there with some events. So I think it'd be cool to have her. And we saw Trish and Tiff team up in Toronto at Elimination Chamber. So there is some story there, but it's just so weird that all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm here and we're going to have the match. It's like, oh, okay. Same with the Rhea EO. It's like, we're just going back to that again. It's like, okay, it was good, but like, all right. So I think when the match happens, we'll be like, okay, it's a good wrestling match, this and that. But
and then
it's
just
kind of weird how they got there.
Dropping the Nikki Bella thing cold because of Liv's injury. Like, I still wonder if the Bellas will be a team in that tag match. Maybe they're a surprise entry because there is a team to be announced. But just, like that was the only story that they actually had building was Liv and Nikki. And then obviously that.
So we got Jade versus Naomi in a no holds barred match. We got Bailey versus Becky versus Lyra. We got a battle royal. We got a 4-way tag match with Raquel and Roxanne versus Alexa and Charlotte versus 2 teams to be determined. Plus Io versus Ripley, and then JC Jane versus Jordan Grace. So that's our card right now.
Yeah, which on paper looks pretty good, but
yeah, absolutely.
As we said, like criticism with actual storytelling right now.
Yeah, it's a little, it's like, hey, we're going to give you this all women's thing, but we're not going to put all of our like momentum and steam behind it. And if it fails, it's because of the women. It's like, well, that's kind of not, I don't know. I think the all women on the show will wrestle with a chip on their shoulder and will knock it out the park. That is what I'm predicting for that show. It just, the hype around it feels weird. The fact that you did, no matter what they ever say yes or no, like you're booking this after the fact, you're counter programming. Yeah. And I don't know if that would affect you. I didn't think it would, but like, I think that has affected some of the momentum and hype going into this show. But I think out of all the shows that WWE is putting on next week, this is the one I have the most interest in.
This is the one I watch first for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there you go. Evolution is next week. We will give some thoughts on it in the next week or so when we do eventually come back doing some shows and stuff, because we won't be going live next Sunday. Obviously, we'll be traveling back from Dallas, but we will watch it in some way, shape, or form and give some thoughts when we can, because I am hoping this is a good show. I'm really down on WWE right now. I just feel like they're thinking profits over like good shit. Like they're thinking, how can we make the most money? And we don't care about what's actually being put on the show. Look, John Cena. Oh, look, John Cena's on TV, 15 more stops, but just give us your fucking money. CM Punk apologizing to the Saudis, not the Miz though, but to the Saudis. I did like that. He's like, yeah, I wasn't mad at Saudi. I'm just fuck the Miz. And I know he's given the apology to the Miz, this and that, but I think the Miz could have had the opportunity to do the funniest fucking thing ever, but didn't, I guess. I'm just not liking where we're going with this direction. I can't say SummerSlam, sure, Cody Cena, but you've already dirtied that for me.
Yeah.
You've already ruined that for me the first time. It's going to take a whole lot to make me interested in the second time. Imagine your favorite artist drops the single and it's fucking dog shit. It is the worst single you've ever fucking heard. And then they go, hey, we're coming to town. It's like, do you go? Do you go to that show? Because you know, they're going to play that old song and that old album you really like, but you know they're going to play that new song and you don't want to hear it. So it's a tough decision. Do I give them my money? There was a point in time this year we were like, oh, should we go to SummerSlam? I really want to go to that Shrek water park again and closer to it. Like, no, absolutely not. Why would we do that? So WWE needs to step it up. I guess not, because they're making the most fucking money they've ever made, potentially ever. So in their eyes, we're doing good. But yeah, sometimes, you know, a summer blockbuster makes billions of dollars and I watch it and I fucking hate it. So like
everything has its breaking point though, right?
Yeah,
like, and I think there'll be like, we had a bit of a run of like, I've been to the last few SummerSlams and Manias and stuff and was like genuinely enjoying going to these shows. Now I'm not paying that money, and like All In, that was something that convinced us because the product was getting good again. And it's like, yeah, I'd like to do that. That sounds fun. Like, let's go and support that. And tickets reasonably priced and stuff. Like
we booked for NOLA and now we're not going.
You know, like WrestleMania 40, those tickets were expensive. We waited them out to try and get a good price, but we knew we were going to spend quite a bit of money on those tickets. And I don't regret it at all, because I thought that everything building up to that show, they were firing on all cylinders. Yeah. They're putting out good work. You know, like there's some great wrestlers there. You're not always presented with great wrestling in WWE, but you have wrestlers capable of great wrestling. And it was hitting. There was some really good matches. There was some great moments on that show. I have no regrets spending that money on that. I'm very glad I didn't spend the money to go to Vegas this year. at the moment. I'm glad I've not spent the money to go to SummerSlam. They need to step it up, and they can't just rely on. And it, trust me, it puts off your audience telling you how much money you make. You know,
I can't stand that.
Imagine if at the beginning of this podcast we went, and thank you so much, guys, everyone who supported us. We made this amount of money this month from the shows we did from you paying us. We made this much money. You'd be like, gross. That sucks. Like, fuck off.
It's because we rinsed you and raised our prices every year, little by little, so much that you can't even afford to take your children to our shows, even though this is a show for children.
Yeah. It's written for children, priced for billionaires. Like,
support local independent wrestling, people. Wherever you're from, they probably got wrestling. I saw our friend Benno from Grapple. He's in Vietnam. He walked out on a walk and found wrestling, independent wrestling.
Yeah, that looked crazy in the rain.
I was just in Oshawa, Ontario, in a parking lot on a beach, and you know what? There was a thunderstorm too in the middle of this wrestling show, and it was awesome. So support your independent wrestling, because you know what? You can afford to take your whole family to your local independent wrestling shows, because they don't cost an arm and a leg or I don't know, a flight to Saudi. But I do hope WWE steps it up. There has been some glimmers of some good stuff, and I will say, out of all of the stuff from WWE, it's the women that have been killing it for me this year, and I do hope Evolution is a grand slam for them. But it's going to take a lot. The counter programming thing, you know, Great American Bash, the tickets are expensive for that, and they're not necessarily selling well.
That is crazy. Like, I saw, what wasn't it? The cheapest ticket was like $140.
Like, what the fuck?
And this is for the NXT show.
Inamura and Obafemi. Yeah.
3 matches booked at the moment.
Crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. And you know what? We're sounding a little tribalist here, but ever since Javon Evans made that tweet to Ricochet, things necessarily haven't been good. They had to cancel that Tampa show. They had to move. And now this is happening. Just saying. That was a bad luck charm from that tweet from Javon Evans.
Like, we say it as it is. As I said, I was so down on AEW like 6
months ago.
6+ months ago. And I was genuinely really enjoying stuff in WWE. There's still stuff I like. I still enjoy probably Raw the most out of all of them. I think there are some, like, there are glimmers here and there that I find quite enjoyable. I did get a chuckle out of Ludwig Kaiser as the new El Grande Americano. Right. There is still stuff, but we're talking about the big stuff in WWE, and it's not moving us. It's not moving me for sure. It comes in waves, like everything, and I think AEW, what they've been good at is focusing on what they're doing, not trying to counter program, actually focusing on a core group of younger guys who are pretty much AEW homegrown, not relying on your Edges and your Jerichos of the world anymore. And it's happening. They're building. It's working.
Yeah, I'm still a wrestling fan, and I'm still a WWE fan. I'm still I love this shit, and I'll always continue to watch it. But there has been some stuff that I hit a wall, and this week, especially with the CM Punk stuff, it felt icky. It felt almost embarrassing. So, like, it doesn't drive me to want to watch WWE as of right now. I'm definitely like late to the part. I caught up today watching everything, and I was like, could have spent my time watching other stuff. I didn't feel that way about watching Dynamite 300 this week, but I did love that show. But some other quick things before we sign off today. I saw this story about Liv Morgan, and have you heard about this? The feds are involved now.
From Scarborough, right?
From Scarborough, Ontario. And call me crazy, Davie. We have seen this guy before at events. We've seen this guy in Toronto.
Really?
He looks very familiar to me. Yeah. I don't want to outright say that he's come to one of our events, but this guy has been in Toronto wrestling events before, whether it's the WWE Access store. I think this guy was hanging around that store last March and last summer, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen this guy before. So I was very freaked out reading this thing. So a Scarborough man's, of course, makes his way down to the States. The day he gets his passport, he travels to the US and tries to go to Liv Morgan's house. Dude, this is so beyond fucked up. This is a terrifying story. We've heard this in the past. I remember the Sonya Deville thing.
Oh,
that was
my God,
absolutely terrifying. So yeah, these are real people. These are characters on TV that we watch for entertainment, but these are real people who get bothered after every flight, get stalked at the airports, who get now stalked at their houses. I think this is absolutely disgusting, and this guy should be locked away for a long time, in my opinion. Holy shit, disgusting story to hear about this. And I'm sure this happens a lot more than we can even hear about, whether it's wrestlers, artists, bands, actors, whatever it may be. Yeah, absolutely crazy. There needs to be some changes with that.
You don't obviously you want like interactions in proper circumstances, Comic-Cons, stuff like that, or you bump into someone you're a fan of on the street naturally. Like you want a nice interaction with them. You don't want to come out going, man, Liv Morgan's a dick. But it's things like this why you completely understand why sometimes these celebrities are dicks to people, because they don't want to encourage this behavior. It is weird hanging outside their hotel. It is weird finding out when their flights are getting in to see them.
Weird to find out where she lives. That's another thing. He found out where she lived.
Like all that stuff. It's just, it goes beyond. Yes, like being a celebrity, it comes with that kind of thing. You do go for dinner, and if someone waits for you to finish your meal and then goes, hey, I'm a really big fan, appreciate what you do. Do you mind if I have a photo? 9 times out of 10, they are going to say yes. If you are waiting outside their like arrivals lounge because you found out what airport they're getting into at what time and what hotel they're starting at, that's creepy. Finding their actual fucking house, even worse. So especially the women, I don't blame you for being dicks to people when shit like this happens. Like that Sonya Deville case was absolutely terrifying.
This is similar, dude. He had a gun or something.
Yeah, this is really, really scary stuff.
Yeah, honestly, it creeped me out. Of like, I can't even imagine some of the stuff that they go through, especially the women, with fan interactions and stuff like that. And it's super gross. And you know what? You see certain clips. Was it Rhea Ripley getting harassed at the airport when Kevin Owens? It's a video where he's like, hey, you good? And she's like, yeah. And it's like, I'm happy to see stuff like that. Whereas like they have each other's backs and stuff. Yeah. Or when you see the Young Bucks, they put out a video where they're like, the house show dive. When you do a house show and your dive is like just a cross body to the outside instead of like a tope, you should see the airport autograph. It's just like him going like a scribble, because he's like, you're just going to sell this online. Leave us alone, essentially. There's a line between fandom and obsession, I think. And this story with Liv Morgan, like, and on top of that, she's dealing with the injury and all that kind of stuff. Like, it is scary. You would imagine she moves, because like you would have to. If people know your address and stuff, that must freak you the fuck out. And I feel for her and a lot of these people. Again, wrestling is weird. It's like comic book heroes and villains, but then you remember they're real people, and people do bother them all the time. And I think there is a time and a place to ask your favorite wrestler for autograph and a picture and stuff. And 9 times out of 10, you said they will do it, but conventions, when they're making money, definitely they'll do it. But at an airport after a long ass flight, could you imagine you go on a fucking 10-hour flight or something, and right away someone's like, hey, David, can I have your picture? Let me take your picture. Let me get your autograph. It's like, no, fuck off.
Yeah.
It pissed me so bad to read that story. And I so feel for Liv Morgan in that situation. So all the power to her. I hope she's all right. Because wow, that would freak me the fuck out if something like that happened to me or anyone I know. So crazy story. And then last thing, if this is real, Street Fighter, the movie, is casting everyone's cousin and their brother and friends, including WWE superstars. So I just didn't believe this was a thing, but I'm at Forbes.com, and they got the Street Fighter, the name of this article, the rather absurd Street Fighter movie cast as of right now. And it includes 2 WWE superstars. Cody Rhodes has been cast as Guile, which I know you're not a huge Street Fighter fan, but people are like, what? And then on top of that, Roman Reigns as Akuma. Crazy. This movie is going to be nuts. So we got Andrew Schultz has obviously also been added to this. David Dast McLean, he's in a bunch of stuff. We've reviewed him in Dark Knight. Yeah. Orville Peck, Toronto, like country music artist, has been. This movie is crazy.
Jason Momoa's in it.
Jason Momoa.
We're getting Jason Momoa and Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns next to each other. That's going to be nuts. 50 Cent is in this movie. I imagine Kenny Omega somehow makes his way in here too. Like, this is going to be all. They realized Street Fighter is still a hot commodity with the gaming world. They saw, I guess, how popular the Mortal Kombat movie is. They're making the second one right now. So I guess I'm all in. I'm an average Street Fighter fan. I'm not like super into the fandom, but Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and 50 Cent. All right, I'll watch this movie.
Yeah, honestly, I get confused between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. They're the same game to me, and I haven't ever really cared for the movies that we've watched about either. But I'm intrigued to see how Cody and Roman will be in this. Like, how will they come across? Who will be the better wrestler actor? We're gonna have Cody in the Naked Gun, the new Naked Gun movie.
Oh,
soon as well.
That looks so good.
It's interesting that he's starting to get these roles, and
that's right.
So yeah, I probably will check this one out.
We'll have to review the original when it comes time. This is, people have said they were thinking about
reviewed. I don't know.
We've reviewed Mortal Kombat from the 90s, but even Mortal Kombat from the 90s, I think is a bad movie, but it has a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people, especially our age. Whereas the the Street Fighter movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme and who's the singer in it? Oh man, they had an affair. Kylie Minogue is in it. And people were like, why the fuck are they in this movie? It's a really bad movie, but will make for a really good review possibly. So maybe down the line. But I saw this and I just didn't believe it. You're going to tell me that it sounds like this is AI. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, 50 Cent, Jason Momoa, Orville Peck. Like, what the fuck? This is going to get crazier, this movie. But I'm interested. And it is cool seeing Cody Rhodes in the Naked Gun trailer and now being cast in this. How long till we lose Cody Rhodes?
Cody to Hollywood?
It's going to happen, people. It's going to happen.
I mean, it'll be when that heel turn happens, right?
That's right. That's right. Can't wait. When he dyes the hair black again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all the stuff going on in the world of wrestling, at least that we're going to talk about today. And we appreciate everyone in the chat. I see you, Megan. I see you, Rob. I see you, Chris. I see you, all the fine people, and appreciate all the listeners out there. Again, give us a follow on our YouTube and the podcast. Give us a subscription. Check out patreon.com/Poisonrana. $5 a month to become a friend. You get access to our best match ever, Kenny Okada. I'm going to give it out for free this week, but we got our Evolution review. We got our JFK conspiracy theory show coming out this week in honor of Dallas. We've reviewed the original All In. We've reviewed we've reviewed a bunch of WrestleManias, movies, and all sorts of fun stuff. It's only $5 for a whole month's access. It connects to your RSS feed in your podcast app, and it helps us keep the lights on here. And we appreciate all the love out there. And we will be back Tuesday for an Up Next, and we'll be back in your ears with our All In review somehow next week. But follow along on our journey over on our Patreon for all the fun stuff we get into this week, and we can't do it without you. So thank you. At Poisonrana Pod, you can find me, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff at the Brady.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe and giddy up. Love you.
I thought you were going to say cowboy. I was waiting.
Giddy up, cowboy.
There we
giddy
go.
Up, cowgirls. Reverse cowgirl.
Poisonrana.